So the Los Angeles Lakers, they have the third worst record in the NBA's Western Conference. They'd actually, right now, they'd be the sixth seed, hypothetically speaking, if they were in the East. And the New Orleans Pelicans, they'd have home court advantage in the Eastern Conference playoffs in the first round if the playoffs started today and they were a part of the Eastern Conference. Sadly, they're stuck in the gutter of the Western Conference in 11th place. Yes, as of today, only 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, Indiana, Miami, Atlanta, have winning records in the East. Yes, 3 teams. I did not misspeak. Now, since the end of the Jordan era, I understand that the West has been the better conference, undoubtedly. But it's never been this bad, though. This pathetically bad. I mean, let me just put this into perspective really quick. There's 9 teams in the West that average more points per game than the top scoring team in the Eastern Conference, the Heat. Phoenix, Denver, and LA average less than a point less per game than the Heat. Not only that, but 11 teams in the West have a positive point per game differential this season. There are only 3 in the East, and one of those teams, Atlanta, is beating its opponents by a mere 0.2 points per game on average, which is essentially they're scoring just as many points as their opponents, which is not good for a team that is supposedly in the playoff hunt. Now, there's this old frame of thought that correlates the type of city a team plays in with the type of play that the team puts on display on a nightly basis. For instance, take the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia is a blue-collar, hard-nosed city that prides itself on its toughness and its grit and its will to just survive, really. The 76ers give up a league-high 111 points per game as of today. Not exactly a hard-nosed brand of basketball, if you ask me. So why the hell is the balance of powers in the NBA so bad now? Now, I don't have all the answers, but I can attribute a couple of things that may be the reason for the constant cycle of despair of the East lately. Like, for instance, there were 13 NBA head coaching changes coming into this season. Of those 13, I think 8 were in the Eastern Conference, which is about half the conference, a little bit more than half the conference, 8 out of 15. And 5 of those 8 were in their first year of being the head man of an NBA team. Now, if you ask me, stability is one of the key things to running a successful franchise. Take Greg Popovich, for instance. He's been with the Spurs since '96. I was born in '94, so he's been with the Spurs since I was 2 years old. His team, we don't even need to get into that. San Antonio Spurs, constant title contenders, 4 titles since he's been with them. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard. God, those guys are good. Stability. It takes time to build a team up out of the ashes. If you're going to fire your coach every 2 freaking years, I mean, the philosophies obviously are going to change. The systems are going to be implemented and replaced, and the personnel keep getting shuffled around over and over and over again. You're never going to just get that stability and just that stranglehold on what you want to be as a franchise. And just it's not good. And another thing, last thing I want to point out is everybody's trying to build a super team that LeBron popularized when he moved to the Miami Heat. Sure, yeah, it worked for the Heat, but come on, they've got LeBron, the best athlete arguably on the planet. For other teams, if you're just simply going to bind all-stars together, that won't equate to victories. Please. Players whose styles don't mince well together, players who are selfish, players who don't want to play by the rules, who don't want to play by the team standards, who don't want to be a team guy and came to the team just because they want money or they want fame or they want to be in the spotlight of being in New York. Knicks. I know a lot of you may say, well, what about the Clippers? Well, at least they even seem to struggle, but they've got leadership and lately they've been started started to build bridges to smooth out their deficiencies like shooting when they signed JJ Redick and all that. But teams like the Knicks, Nets, even the Pistons, they just try to copycat Miami's freaking example to no avail, really. I mean, with all that being said, though, really, we're just very early in the season. We've got a long ways to go before we can even start talking about the playoffs. But to be honest, I'm still penciling in a Pacers Heat Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, it's just that bad in the East. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave some comments below and check out my blog, check out my Twitter page if you guys don't want to hear my annoying ass voice and just want to read my thoughts. And check out my WordPress. I mean, yeah, that's that. Have a great day, guys.